Hello and welcome back to my channel. I'm the Lonesome Dungeon Master. It's been a while since we've done this solo AD&D campaign, but I thought I'd come back to this and do a little catch up and just do some like downtime in Lorabas, because if you recall last time at the end of the session, our brave adventurers made it all the way back to Lorabas in the rain, and they were gonna collect their treasures, get some info back from some of the masters of Lorabas that will, help shape the direction of the campaign moving forward. Since last time we did our session, I believe it was 20 last time. This will be episode 21. I did have the opportunity to go to a local con that was attended by several luminaries of the YouTube channels for old school D&D, and played a few games with them, and I found it really inspirational. I had a lot of fun. Of course, it was hosted by the Dungeon Minister, but it also included Mage's Musings, Bandit's Keep, the Old Geek came all the way from England, the original Grognard, and Tales of the Manticore, among others. So it was really inspirational. I had a great time. Got to play some AD&D First Edition, AD&D Second Edition, Call of Cthulhu, and an RPG called Valiant that was DM'd by the Old Bear. So that was great, and had a chance to sort of re-energize, get my head on straight, and get ready to come back at this. And I think now is a great time. Today we're just going to do some administration. I don't imagine it'll be a very long episode, maybe half an hour or so. Get everybody, realigned and ready to go, and just general catch up, because I think there's some cool things happening. So first of all, we have to update the time. Just bear with me as I sort of open the binder here, which hasn't been opened in a while. Here's our hex in Ket. We're currently back at Lorabas. We made our way there from the dungeons in the depths of the Pewter Hills with the gnomes and their leader Erosian. So as far as time goes, we now find ourselves on the 10th of flock time, and there's we came back at the 10th of the flock time, and there had been a fire in the stables for Zahab and his patrons, which was cleaned up. Today is going to be God's Day, the 11th, and we'll do some stuff there today. So God's Day is where people sort of do their usual religious duties, and Jizna Bint is no exception. She needs to do her duties at the temple, and she is under the tutelage, if you will, or like the leader of the clerics in Lorabas, and it's Funda is the cleric leader. She is the cleric of Al Akbar, who is local to the Baklunish people. He's a demigod that came from Ekbir, and he is the god of guardianship and duty. So she's Funda is the lawful neutral cleric that sort of leads the flock here, but Jizna, being a cleric of Istis, Lady of Fate, she's not exempt from doing her duties. So she'll take her time to do a couple of services, do some tea leaf tea leaf rating for anybody who wants to come in and do that. Excuse me. And then that will keep her busy for most of the day, God's Day, the 11th. So what do we do in the meantime, in this downtime, and how that works, right? We do know that we want to see Ohmer and some of the relics that we had found in the Pewter Hill dungeon need to be identified. And we do have a couple of treasures that need to be figured out if they're magical in nature. There's a whistle and there is a chime from the dungeons down there. We'll figure out if either one of those are magical, and if not, what kind of monies we can get for them. And then Zawar wants to cast his Find Familiar spell now that he has the money for it and the time. We'll see what shows up there. So we're going to do that. And then I believe Faruq would like to buy some upgraded armor to keep himself more protected. He needs to rest for a few days to gain his hit points back naturally. He's about halfway down. He's down to like 5. So he'll do that. And then we'll find out who's in the inn. And then we'll kind of end it there. And then we'll come back and then we'll talk to the folks that are in the inn and see what adventures spring from that. Okay, so the first thing we would like to do, I think, is that Zawar. Oh no, let's look at our characters first off and see where they're at. So Faruq, he has 1,400 experience points. He's gonna need 2,000 to level up. Zawar has 1,400, the same amount of experience points. He needs 2,500 to get the second level. Jizna has 1,400. She needs, I believe, 1,600. So she's close. Look at the clerics. Cleric, she needs 1,501 to get to level 2. So she's pretty close. She's less than 100 away. Problem there is she has, so you need to train, and that's going to cost you, it's going to cost you 1,000 gold pieces, I think, per week, and they only need 1 week of study to go from first level to second level. So she'll need 1,000 gold pieces. The problem there is gold piece totals. Jizna has 235 gold pieces. So she's about 750 gold pieces short of training for second level. And at the same time, well, we do have, the rooms are paid off until the end of flock time. So flock time, you still have a couple of weeks in flock time before everybody needs to pay 100 gold pieces for their rooms. But we do need more treasure to pay for leveling up. And that's one of the staples of first edition Advanced Dungeons and Dragons. You need to pay for your training, and that's how we sort of keep the players not so rich all the time. So Jizna's close. I believe she'll probably get there when Ohmer looks at the treasures and agrees to pay our heroes money for the treasures. But so Zawar needs 100 gold pieces for his spell. He has 229, so he'll be able to afford to cast the spell. I'll just read the spell description here as we get going. And right, so Find Familiar. It's gonna be interesting to see what comes up and what shows up. I'm actually excited about it. I'll give him some extra hit points and allow him to increase some of his abilities based on what familiar shows up. So here we have Find Familiar. First level spell. The range is 1 mile per level, so he has goes 1 mile out. A familiar is of certain benefit to a magic user as the creature adds to the spellcaster's hit points. It conveys its sensory powers to its master, and it can converse with and will serve as a guard, scout, spy as well. However, the magic user has no control over what sort of creature will answer the summoning, or if any at all will come. And the power of the conjuration is such that it can be attempted but once per year. At such time as the magic user determines to find a familiar, he or she must stoke up a brass brazier with charcoal, and then when this is burning well, add 100 gold pieces worth of incense, herbs, basil, savory, and catnip for sure, and fat. When these items are burning, the spellcaster begins his or her incantation, and it must be continued until the familiar comes or the casting time is finished. Your referee will secretly determine all results. The magic user has absolutely no control over what sort of creature appears to become his or her familiar. This will be determined on the table below. Okay, so immediately we will cross off 100 gold pieces for Zawar here. So he's down to 129. And he's going to cast Find Familiar. Of course, he studies it overnight. He's ready for the next morning. He gets the incense burning. Mumala doesn't care for it, so he leaves. Jizna has her duties at the temple, so she leaves. And Faruq decides to stand guard over Zawar while he's, casting the spell. Should any malcontents come in, he can sort of guard him. So this is exciting for Zawar, and rather than, increasing in level and power or getting magic items, he gets to cast a spell and hopefully find a new companion. Again, so interesting. So you roll a d20. Casting time is 1 to 24 hours. Special. So as long as well, let's see how long it takes to cast, right? Could take 24 hours. I'm gonna say it's a 1 to 20 hours. Or this is an interesting way to do it. D10 divided by 2, D20 minus 1. Does that make sense? Makes sense to me. Okay, so that is 3. 16 hours. It's going to take most of the day to do this. The incense is burning. They let everybody know that's what's happening. It's going to take most of the day to do this. I don't know if we're going to have time to talk to Ohmer today. But it's burning. Let's see what familiar comes. And we're hoping that 16 to 20 is not in play here, because that will waste the spell for a year, and he lost 100 gold pieces worth of incense. Okay. 19. So he sits there for 16 hours. The incense burns down to the end of the stick, and then nothing comes. And he's pretty despondent about that, kind of upset, which is interesting. If I do recall, when we were rolling the d20s for like combats that were happening, or even like the random dungeon stuff, I rarely got high numbers. But here we go, we get the high number, and the spell is a waste. Okay, easy come, easy go. So 100 gold pieces gone. And we have the campaign growth. We're going to add this to it. Zawar fails Find Familiar. No cast for a year. What a disappointment for the hedge wizard who's trying to become a powerful wizard at the end of the day. does that affect him emotionally? Will he be more than likely to retire after maybe the month or so? We'll see what kind of wonderful treasures they dig up and how far he gets, but that's a bit of a disappointment for him. Right. So let's look at the items that they bring to Ohmer, and we'll fill this out and do sort of a mini little emulator. So we're gonna roll a d10. 1 to 2 magical, 3 to 10 normal, and if we roll a 1 to 2 on the first one, the second one is automatically not magical. You can't have too many magic items, right? And then we have value. It'll go d10 times 100, but we're gonna roll it off. So if you get like a 9 or 10, roll a 9 or 10, and then you will roll again, and then you will multiply it by 1,000. That make sense? Certainly. Okay, here we go. 1 to 10. The greenies. So we're gonna go with the chime first. 2, the chime is magical. Wonderful. So we do have magic items, so we are going to get some experience points. I'm assuming it's going to be a chime of opening because that's the most popular kind. Helm, broom, chime of opening, chime of hunger. And let's consult Unearth Arcana and see if there's any other magic items in there that could be chimes. Or are these just spells in here? Oh, no. Armor and shields. Boots, cloak, cyclone, dart, chime of interruption. Okay. Okay. It's either a chime of opening, a chime of hunger, or a chime of interruption. So I'm gonna roll. We're gonna go D6. I think 1 is a chime of hunger. 2, 3, 4 is the chime of opening, and 5, 6 is the chime of interruption. Okay. Let's see what we got here. Interesting. So this is going to affect the experience points. one is the Chime of Hunger. It's the Chime of Hunger. Okay, Chime of Hunger. So it's a cursed item. I don't think it's worth anything. This device exactly resembles a chime of opening. When it is struck, all creatures within 6 feet are immediately struck with ravenous hunger. Characters will tear into their rations, ignoring everything else and even dropping everything they are holding in order to eat. Creatures without food immediately available will rush to where the chime of hunger sounded and attack any creatures there in order to kill and eat them. All creatures must eat for at least 1 round, but they are then entitled to a saving throw versus magic in each successive round until such is made. Hunger is satisfied. Note, it is recommended that the Chime of Hunger operate as one of opening for several rounds of use before its curse is put into operation. Well, that's interesting. Okay, so we're going to call it a Chime of Hunger, but we'll roll D8. So it's going to work 4 times until it becomes a Chime of Hunger. And we can't know that. We can't like say, I don't want to use it because it's going to be hunger now. We're not aware. It's going to act as a Chime of Opening. I think the idea here is let's take a look at what the experience is for these. Chime of Hunger. Is worth no experience points. Okay. So, Zawar gets the Chime of Hunger. And it has 4 uses as opening before it becomes the Chime of Hunger. Well, that could pose a problem in the future. But no experience points for Zawar on that one. Okay. So we're talking, I guess it's the next day, right? So, because he had to do 16 hours of whatever. I'm not going to roleplay Jizna's tea leaf thing, but that's her duties was to do the tea leaf reading. Okay, and then we're going to talk about the value of the whistle, this old relic. So it's a D10, 9 or 10, becomes in the thousands. 2. It's worth 200 gold pieces. Okay. The whistle. So Ohmer explains that it's like sort of like a whistle for the dutiful to come. Once the whistle is blown, they're gonna come. So we'll call it it's an alarm whistle. It's old, it's intricate, it's made of some kind of like black iron thing that it's not rusting, but it's like a black obsidian color. It's not obsidian, but we'll call it black iron. It is worth 200 gold pieces, so we can sell it for 200 gold pieces. That value is no good. Okay. So then we have, this is another interesting thing that's gonna sort of sort of dictate where the campaign's going. I think about it. Ohmer sort of, he's got like his rings are jangling. He's playing with his necklace. It's like, He looks at the idol. It's like the 1 foot tall idol of that was not defaced. It was like a mask of a bird on the front. It's like a male, human body up to the wings. He has wings instead of arms, and he has a beak. He looks at it and he's wondering. He says, "This is an idol to a god that is revered or was revered thousands of years ago. You don't hear much about them now, but they are the Olman people, and the god is Quetzalcoatl. He's the god of air, birds, snakes, and the sky. So, speaking of it being a sun god or a sky god, it is a sky god, Quetzalcoatl. He is an Olman deity. And to get a sort of, the inspiration for this one comes from this module right here. The Hidden Shrine of Temowichan, which has sort of it's the introduction in 1980 of the Olman culture in Greyhawk. Interestingly enough, though, the Olman culture, as far as they are concerned, based on sort of Darlene's map of the Floness, they come from the Immediate jungle far to the south, and so it's listed as savages here. The Olman culture is sort of like here, or at least where the temple is, and I've sort of marked it off by hex. And if you want to get back to, Ket, it's over 2,000 miles. So it's a long way for people to come. Ohmer tells them that at some point in the past, the Olman culture, there was a breakaway in the Olman culture. A sect broke away from the regular religion, and those would have been the Shvem people that they're looking at now in the dungeons that we've been to, the dungeons of Tarush and in the Pewter Hills. And so he posits that they came so far, 2,000 miles north from the jungles into this area, and sort of started a new civilization, a new sect of the Olman culture. But over time, it weakened. They were worshiping Quetzalcoatl, but at some point, whether it was a famine or people were dying or war, they lost faith in their god, their sky god. It was weakening at any rate. And over time, this is when, the devil, Moloch, saw his opportunity, and he started, chewing away at the sides of their will and then bending them to his will, and eventually they sort of took on the worship of Moloch, and they defaced all the idols to Quetzalcoatl, and we never would have found out about Quetzalcoatl unless we got into that hidden room where the high priest in the Pewter Hills was, and it was untouched by the cultists of Moloch. So interesting to note that it is an Olman deity from far to the south that had been taken over by Moloch. That brings up sort of an interesting thing with the campaign. We don't know, but will Olman people show up here at some point looking for the dungeons or claiming ownership of what all that lies in there or not? I don't know. Or would this, precipitate us traveling down to the Immediate jungle and digging in there? But I don't quite know yet. I don't think our quartet of adventurers are A, experienced enough, and B, interested enough quite just yet. There's enough digging to do around here with the with the orcs in the Dungeons of Tarush at the moment, and there's still more stuff to find in the dungeons that may uncover more information about the Shvem people and the Ulman culture. So this is an interesting turn to the campaign. Could take it in a new direction. Could inject a little more energy and a little more intent on their part. But I think it's an interesting turn. I like it in that respect. So it's a very old idol. It's from thousands of miles away, I believe. So we're gonna roll a d10 for Oman's interest, or so Ohmer's interest, and if it's above 5, we may be looking at the thousands of things. It's 3. He's not that interested, so we're going to multiply it by 100, not 1,000. And he's going to offer 800 gold pieces for the idol of Quetzalcoatl. $800 gold pieces. So that's a total of 1,000 divided by 4. That's going to be 250 gold pieces each. So 250, that's not quite 500, that's 491 for Faruq. $491 for Faruq, 250 for Zawar, that's 379. Jizna, that's say 250, 285. And Mumala is going to be 518. Okay. And then by extension, let's get 250 gold, 250 experience points each. So that's 1,663 for Jizna. So she's eligible to level up, but she can't afford it quite yet. And then our fighter, he's less than 400 away from leveling up himself. So 250 becomes 125. So that's 831. And 832. So we're getting some experience, not as much as we had hoped. And now we have a cursed object that we're not aware is cursed. Okay, so before we move on and find out who else is in the dungeons today, we're gonna buy some equipment for buy some armor for Faruq. Okay. So he currently has ring mail. ring mail. Ring mail plus shield gives him 6. Chainmail plus shield gives him 4. And banded mail plus shield gives him 3. Banded mail is 90. Chainmail is 75. And what does he have for? So we're gonna give him chainmail. Oh, sorry, banded mail. 90. He's gonna buy banded mail. So he's down to 401. He's gonna sell his banded mail. I think he can sell for like his ring mail for 1/3 of the cost. We'll call it that. Let's just call it banded. Okay. We'll figure out how much banded weighs. Encumbrance of standard items. Encumbrance of armor. Bandit is 35 pounds. Base movement becomes 9. Okay. So he's banded mail is 350, so 100 more. And then his movement becomes 9. His base movement becomes 9. It goes from 250 to 350. His encumbrance is 935. I'm not including like the gold pieces because they're going to leave the gold pieces at the end right now. So 935, which puts him in very heavy. So he's gonna be a movement of 6. So everybody's gonna be slowed down unless he wants to get rid of some stuff, you know, maybe some iron spikes or whatever. But he is now at armor class 3. Armor class. So it'll be more. He improves by 3 categories, but he's going to be slower, so we're going to take more time traveling. But 3, I think it's awesome. And his movement is a 6. That's exciting. We're gearing up and ready to go. We've updated armor. Gonna be feeling more, you know, braver, if you will. So, how do we figure out generate the inn's occupants 2 plus 1d4? It's still a village. 2 plus 1d4. I think we had a bunch last time. I think we did the d6. We're gonna go with, we're gonna call it a city because it's the major area. Village. Oh no, town. 3 plus 1d6. 6. That's 6 people in the inn. We're gonna, the people that were in the inn last time, we're gonna, this is day 1, this is day 2. Interest level 6, 5, 5, 10. Erosian is not there anymore. The farmer and the shepherd may not be there. The entertainment, we can talk about it. Well, this is, it could be the same entertainment because it's only a day later. Maybe it's 3 days later. Anyways, Ender Ferretbane went back because, you know, as he goes back, he'll be back next month, maybe in 2 months. Telek the Grift might be there. I'll give him a 50-50 chance of being there. Nope. Telek the Grift is not there. Alnara. These are the folks that went off with Nolagar to Lake Topaz. So I'm gonna suggest a 25% chance that they're in. Okay, so they are there. Here's the deal. They may be there, they may not be there. So they went off to fight some giant otters. You roll a d6, okay? 1 to 2, one of them dies. 3 to 4. Neither 1 to 2, one of them died. 3 to 4. Both of them die. 5 to 6, none of them died. Okay? 1 to 2, one of them dies. Okay? So I'm gonna go 1 to 50. Alnara was killed, and 51 to 100, Tiernan was killed. So Tiernan was killed. So he's dead. So Alnara is here, fighter 1, and she is Alnara, fighter 1. With her buddy died, so I imagine that 1 in 3 chance that they actually succeeded. So 1 to 2, yes. 3 and above, no. So they did succeed in killing the otters. Okay, so we can add that to the campaign growth. Alnara and Tiernan killed giant otters in Topaz Lake. And Tiernan died. So let's see what she's doing in the end. Well, what did I say? There were 4 people in the inn. Alnara is one of them, okay? Noligar did not come back because Noligar, they figured everything else out. So let's generate the people in the inn, the occupants. 1 to 10. 3 other people. 1 to 10. 8. Men, general table. Men, general table. D100. 1. Alchemist. Oh, we know who the alchemist is. She's a troublemaker. What was her name? Claudia Camina. She's back. Claudia Camina. Alchemist. Okay. 2 more people. There's always Ober the Brave, who was there before. I don't know if he's still around. We'll see. 8 men, general table. 46. Mercenary. Okay. Mercenary. And one more. Oh, two. A merchant. Is it the Caraman looking to sell lumber? I'll go 1 to 4. Nope, it's not Caraman. Okay. What other merchant could we have in here? Kind of trade happening here. So the lumber merchant would be from the forests. I guess we'll figure it out. I think we can take that off the line. So there's a merchant, we don't know who he is. So what are they doing in the inn? Well, Almara is, we'll see if this checks out, but 14, looking for employment. Okay. Maybe we can add another fighter to our retinue. Add another person that could, you know, it does upset the balance, but Claudia Camina is 5, doing a job appropriate to a profession. So she is alchemizing. We'll figure out what alchemists, like specific, what they could do. What is the mercenary doing? 6, keeping quiet in a corner. Okay. That's, you know, shades of like Aragorn in the corner at the prancing pony. Figure out what he's up to. And what's the merchant doing? 5, the merchant is doing a job appropriate to a profession. Okay, selling stuff. Trying to sell stuff, anyways. 1, 2, 3, 4. And I'm gonna give a 1 in 10 chance that Ober's the Brave is in here. No. Okay. So this is who is in the inn. Let's take a look at their interest level. She's looking for employment. So Elnara, I think, is going to be not interested. That doesn't matter. I think she's interested. I don't think she likes us because we didn't. Claudia Camina is interaction chance 50%. So that's a 5. Interest level. The mercenary is keeping quiet in a corner. 7. Well, he, you know, his ears perk up when they walk in. The mercenary, the merchant who's selling stuff is a 6. And I'm gonna re-roll Alnara. 10. So she is interested in looking for employment. Okay. So those are our folks in the inn. So I've done all that stuff. I think, what are we at now? We're at 50 minutes already. I think I did a bit of a, a catch up today. We did some rolling, cast a spell that didn't work out right, figured out that we do have a cursed item. We don't know it's cursed yet. Got paid out some money, met some people in the inn, and we'll end it there. And then next session we'll talk to the people in the inn and figure out what we're doing as an adventuring crew next. There's so many opportunities at the moment. I'm just going to go over the campaign growth before we shut it down. So, who built the Dungeons of Tarush and for what purpose? We do know that it's Olman in origin. The Broken Bone Orc Tribe insurrection in the Dungeons of Tarush. Thorog the Cleaver versus Gorfang Rotgut. What has happened since we've been away? We'll figure that out too if we go back. Dane Swiftbow, the young elven leader of a raiding party in the dungeon. We know where they come from. They're not known well by Lorabas' leaders. Malloy, the burglar, will he be active again? Erosian from the Pewter Hills. They took care of that trouble for them. Noligar, his is taken care of. Zawar failed. Elnara and Tiernan succeeded, but Tiernan died. So that's what the campaign growth looks like. We're back at it again. I'll be more active again in the next little while. We'll do another session with them in the inn, and then we'll figure out what adventures we're going to get on next. So as always, thank you for joining. Do comment and like this video. We'll keep the conversation going. And I look forward to doing this again soon. See ya.